Have you been carrying a coin worth a fortune without even knowing it? Before you spend another penny, you need to hear this story because one ordinary-looking Lincoln cent has collectors searching through jars, drawers, and old piggy banks with incredible excitement. And the biggest surprise is that it might be sitting in your home right now, hiding in plain sight. Most people think pennies are practically worthless. They toss them into cups, leave them in car consoles, or ignore them completely at the checkout counter. But every once in a while, an ordinary penny becomes extraordinary because of tiny details that almost nobody notices. Those details can transform a 1-cent coin into something collectors dream about owning. Today we're talking about the mysterious 2005 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, sometimes surrounded by wild stories claiming it's worth $1 million. But here's where things get really interesting. The truth is far more fascinating than the headlines, and understanding why could save you from accidentally spending a valuable coin. Imagine cleaning out your kitchen drawer and finding a handful of old pennies. You glance at them for a second, then almost drop them into a coin machine. Sounds familiar, right? That's exactly what thousands of Americans do every single day. Yet hidden among billions of common coins are a few that have features collectors will pay astonishing amounts to own. The year 2005 wasn't supposed to produce legendary coins. Millions upon millions of Lincoln cents rolled off the presses, and most entered circulation without anyone giving them a second thought. But as years passed, sharp-eyed collectors began noticing unusual examples with striking characteristics. Here's something many people never realize. A Lincoln penny without a mint mark isn't automatically rare. In fact, for 2005, a missing mint mark simply means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't place a mint mark on Lincoln cents for circulation. That alone doesn't make it valuable. So why are people talking about million-dollar pennies? Because stories spread quickly online, and many collectors hope the next unbelievable discovery is waiting in someone's pocket change. While it's true that certain rare coins have sold for incredible sums, value always depends on rarity, condition, demand, and sometimes a spectacular mint error. Now don't click away because this is where things become exciting. A regular circulated 2005 Philadelphia Lincoln penny usually isn't worth more than face value. Even bright, uncirculated examples often sell for only a small premium. But there are exceptions that can completely change the story. Collectors are obsessed with mint errors. Why? Because mistakes made during production are never supposed to happen. Every error creates a coin that's different from millions of others. The more dramatic and unusual the mistake, the greater the collector interest can become. Picture a machine striking thousands of coins every minute. If something shifts even slightly, remarkable errors can appear before workers notice the problem. Those mistakes become accidental treasures. One of the first things experienced collectors inspect is the date. Is it sharp? Does anything look doubled? Are the numbers unusually thick? Even slight doubling can attract attention if it's caused by the minting process rather than simple wear. Next comes Lincoln himself. Look closely at his face, coat, and bow tie. Do you notice extra lines? Strange distortions? Missing details? Tiny differences may seem insignificant to most people, but collectors often spend hours examining exactly these features. Then comes the reverse. The Lincoln Memorial design contains dozens of small details. Missing letters, weak strikes, die cracks, cuds, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and dramatic misalignments all become possible clues that your penny isn't ordinary. Here's where patience pays off. Many people inspect a coin for 3 seconds and assume it's common. Professional collectors sometimes study one coin for several minutes under magnification before reaching a conclusion. Condition is another enormous factor. Take 2 identical 2005 pennies. One has scratches, dark stains, and heavy wear after years in circulation. The other looks almost exactly as it did the day it left the mint, with bright original luster and almost no contact marks. Guess which one collectors want? The difference in value can be astonishing. That's why grading services exist. Experts carefully evaluate preservation, strike quality, surface condition, and originality before assigning a numerical grade. As the grade climbs higher, prices can increase dramatically. Now here's an interesting story. A collector once purchased a group of ordinary-looking coins at a local estate sale. Nothing appeared especially valuable at first glance. But after careful inspection, One coin displayed an unusual mint error that everyone else had overlooked. That single discovery ended up being worth far more than the entire purchase price of the collection. Stories like that keep collectors searching year after year. Could the same thing happen with a 2005 Lincoln penny? It's possible, but only if the coin has something genuinely unusual. This is why experienced numismatists always warn against believing sensational headlines promising every 2005 no-mint mark penny is worth $1 million. Reality is more exciting because real discoveries depend on knowledge rather than luck. Think about how many pennies pass through cash registers every day. Millions. Almost nobody examines them carefully. That means opportunities still exist for observant collectors willing to learn what separates common coins from exceptional ones. Here's another clue people often overlook. Color matters. Lincoln cents are often described as brown, or red. Coins retaining their original red mint color are generally much more desirable than heavily oxidized brown examples, especially in top grades. Even then, perfection matters. A tiny scratch invisible to the naked eye could significantly affect collector value. Amazing, isn't it? Now let's talk about the million-dollar question. Has a normal 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny sold for $1 million? No credible evidence supports that claim. However, truly extraordinary coins from other years, with legendary rarity, historic importance, or spectacular mint errors, have reached astonishing auction prices. Those headline-making sales inspire endless speculation about modern coins. That's why rumors continue spreading. People naturally dream about finding life-changing money in everyday pocket change. And honestly, that's part of what makes coin collecting so much fun. Every handful of change feels like a treasure hunt. Every old jar becomes a mystery waiting to be solved. Every penny deserves another look before it's spent. But don't confuse possibility with probability. Most 2005 Philadelphia Lincoln pennies remain common. The valuable ones are those with exceptional preservation, remarkable mint errors, or other characteristics collectors actively seek. So what should you check first? Start with the date. Confirm it's 2005. Next, notice there's no mint mark beneath the date, indicating Philadelphia. After that, inspect every surface under good lighting with at least a 5x or 10x magnifier. Look for doubling. Search for die cracks. Watch for off-center strikes. Check whether any lettering appears missing. Examine the rim carefully. Inspect Lincoln's portrait. Study the reverse. Then compare your coin with verified examples from reputable collector references before assuming you've found something extraordinary. If your penny appears unusual, resist the urge to clean it. That's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. Cleaning almost always damages the original surfaces collectors value most. Even gentle rubbing can permanently reduce collectible value. Instead, place the coin in a protective holder and seek opinions from knowledgeable experts if necessary. Here's another fascinating fact. Some collectors spend decades searching through bank rolls one penny at a time. Thousands upon thousands of coins. Most searches uncover nothing remarkable. Then suddenly, one exciting discovery makes every hour worthwhile. That's the thrill. Not knowing what the next coin might reveal. Maybe that's why Lincoln cents remain America's favorite collectible coin. They're affordable. They're familiar. And every American has handled one. Yet hidden among billions of ordinary cents are fascinating stories of history, minting technology, accidental errors, and remarkable discoveries. Your next valuable coin probably won't announce itself. It won't sparkle brighter than the others. It won't shout that it's special. It will simply wait for someone curious enough to notice what everyone else missed. So before you spend another handful of change, slow down. Take another look. That forgotten penny sitting in your drawer may not be worth $1 million. But if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and minting characteristics, it could still be worth far more than 1 cent. And honestly, that's what makes this hobby so addictive. Every coin carries a story. Every date holds possibilities. Every search teaches something new. Who knows? The next incredible discovery could begin with a penny everyone else ignored. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever found an unusual Lincoln penny? Or are you checking your change after hearing this? Let everyone know in the comments because your discovery might inspire another collector to take a closer look at their own coins. And if you enjoy uncovering hidden money hiding in everyday pocket change, make sure you subscribe and come back for more fascinating coin discoveries, surprising values, and incredible stories that prove treasure doesn't always come from buried chests. Sometimes it arrives one ordinary-looking penny at a time. Stop scrolling for 1 second, because the penny hiding in your pocket right now could be worth far more than your car. Most people spend it without a second thought, and that tiny mistake could cost them a life-changing payday. Today we're uncovering one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents, a 2007 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that collectors never stop searching for. The real story is even more surprising than you might imagine. Think about this for a moment. How many pennies have passed through your hands this year? Hundreds? Maybe thousands? Most of them were tossed into jars, cup holders, couch cushions, or handed over as change at the grocery store. But every now and then, an ordinary-looking coin turns into an extraordinary discovery. That's exactly why experienced collectors inspect every single penny before spending it. The 2007 Lincoln penny without a mint mark doesn't look special at first glance. Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait appears on the front, while the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly on the back. Millions of these coins entered circulation, making them seem completely ordinary. That's exactly what makes the mystery so fascinating. If millions were produced, why are collectors willing to pay incredible amounts for certain examples? Here's where everything changes. Not every valuable coin is rare because of a low mintage. Sometimes the real treasure is hiding in tiny details that most people never notice. Those details can transform a 1-cent coin into something collectors desperately want. A small error, an unusual strike, a dramatic die variety, or an exceptionally preserved condition can make all the difference. Imagine finding a penny in your spare change that looks perfectly normal. You almost spend it on a vending machine. Then you decide to take one closer look under a magnifying glass. Suddenly you notice something unusual. That simple decision could completely change your understanding of pocket change forever. Professional coin hunters know that patience beats luck. They search through coin rolls from banks, estate sales, flea markets, garage sales, and old family collections because history has proven that remarkable discoveries still happen. Incredible coins continue to appear in places nobody expects. Now here's a question that surprises many people. What does no mint mark actually mean? Many assume it automatically makes a coin rare. That's not true. For Lincoln pennies made in 2007, the absence of a mint mark usually means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins struck in Denver carry a small D beneath the date, while Philadelphia pieces normally have no mint mark at all. So if that's normal, why are collectors still talking about these pennies? Because condition changes everything. Most 2007 pennies spent years bouncing through cash registers, vending machines, parking meters, and pockets. They collected scratches, dents, stains, and wear. A coin that remains nearly perfect after all these years becomes dramatically harder to find. Collectors use professional grading services to evaluate condition. Tiny differences invisible to the average person can separate a common penny from one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Strong original luster, sharp details, and virtually flawless surfaces attract serious attention during auctions. But that's only part of the story. Every year, minting equipment wears down. Dies develop cracks, chips, and imperfections. Sometimes the striking process creates doubled letters, unusual textures, off-center strikes, or other production mistakes. These mint errors weren't supposed to leave the factory, but some escaped into circulation anyway. Those accidental mistakes are exactly what many collectors dream of finding. Imagine discovering a dramatic error coin mixed into a handful of ordinary change. Suddenly you're holding something thousands of other collectors wish they owned. That's why experienced hobbyists never rush when sorting pennies. Here's another surprising fact. The internet is filled with headlines claiming an ordinary 2007 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth $1 million. Those headlines attract millions of views because everyone hopes they're sitting on hidden treasure. But reality is more complicated. An ordinary circulated 2007 Philadelphia Lincoln cent is generally worth only face value. Even beautiful uncirculated examples usually sell for modest premiums. The enormous prices people hear about almost always involve something very different. Maybe it's an extraordinary mint error. Maybe it's an extremely rare variety. Maybe it's a nearly flawless coin certified at the absolute highest grade. Or maybe the headline exaggerated the story entirely. That's why knowledge is far more valuable than excitement alone. Instead of believing every sensational claim online, smart collectors examine the actual characteristics of the coin. They look for doubling on the lettering, unusual die breaks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, wrong planchets, dramatic misalignments, or other genuine mint errors recognized by experts. Here's something most beginners overlook. Lighting makes a huge difference. A penny that appears ordinary under dim kitchen lights may reveal remarkable details under bright white light and a simple magnifying loupe. Tiny features become much easier to identify, helping collectors separate common coins from potentially valuable discoveries. Another mistake people make is cleaning old coins. Never polish, scrub, or shine a collectible coin. Cleaning often removes the original surface collector's value most. Even a gentle cleaning can significantly reduce a coin's appeal and market value. That dusty, natural appearance may actually be protecting its worth. Now imagine this scenario. You're visiting your grandparents. They bring out an old coffee can filled with pennies collected over decades. Most people would ignore it. You decide to spend 15 minutes searching through the coins. First, nothing seems unusual. Then you notice a brilliant red 2007 Lincoln penny with almost no wear. A little later, another coin catches your eye because the lettering looks doubled. Then you discover an off-center strike. Suddenly that forgotten coffee can doesn't look so ordinary anymore. Stories like these fuel the excitement of coin collecting across America. Real discoveries continue happening because billions of coins remain scattered throughout homes, piggy banks, and forgotten collections. Let's build the suspense one final time. Could a 2007 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny actually be worth $1 million? For an ordinary example, no. Claims that a standard 2007 Philadelphia Lincoln cent is worth $1 million are not supported by the known collector market. However, an exceptionally rare mint error combined with extraordinary condition could command dramatically higher prices than a normal penny, and unique coins have surprised the collecting world before. That's why every coin deserves a careful inspection before it's dismissed. Take a close look at the date. Examine the lettering. Check Lincoln's portrait. Inspect the edges. Look at the reverse design. Compare your coin with trusted reference images. If something appears unusual, don't guess. Have the coin evaluated by knowledgeable experts before selling or spending it. Remember, the difference between 1 cent and a valuable collectible often comes down to details smaller than the tip of a pencil. So before you empty that jar of pennies into a coin counting machine, spend a few minutes looking through every single one. The next amazing discovery could already be sitting in your home, waiting for someone curious enough to notice it. Now I'm curious. Have you ever found an unusual penny in your pocket change? Or do you have a jar of old coins you've never searched? Let everyone know, because your story might inspire someone else to uncover a hidden treasure of their own. And if you enjoy discovering the incredible secrets hiding inside everyday pocket change, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. There are countless coins still circulating across America with fascinating stories, surprising errors, and values that continue to shock collectors. Your next life-changing discovery might be only 1 penny away. A penny worth $1 million? It sounds impossible, but one tiny coin hiding in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket could be the reason collectors lose sleep. Before you spend another penny, you need to see this. Most people think every 2014 Denver Lincoln penny is only worth 1 cent. That's exactly why valuable examples are still being spent every single day. Millions of these coins pass through cash registers without anyone giving them a second look. But a small number have become the kind of discoveries that collectors dream about. Here's the twist that almost nobody talks about. It's not just the date that matters. It's not just the D-mint mark. And it's definitely not because every 2014 penny is rare. The real story is hidden in tiny details that most people never notice. Imagine cleaning out your kitchen drawer. You dump a handful of change onto the table. Pennies roll everywhere. You almost sweep them back into a jar. But one catches your eye. It's bright. The strike looks unusually sharp. The surfaces look different from the others. That single moment could change everything. The 2014 Lincoln cent with the D-mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. Billions were produced, making it one of the most common modern pennies in circulation. So why would anyone pay thousands, or even dream about paying hundreds of thousands, for one? The answer begins with condition. Collectors chase perfection. While billions of coins entered circulation, very few survived without scratches, fingerprints, or tiny marks from minting and handling. Every little nick can lower a coin's value dramatically. That's why pristine examples are so exciting. But condition is only part of the mystery. Some collectors spend years searching for unusual mint errors that escaped quality control. These mistakes transform ordinary coins into extraordinary collectibles. A doubled design, an off-center strike, a dramatic die crack, clipped planchet, missing letters, wrong metal. Every error tells a different story. Now here's where things get interesting. Not every strange-looking coin is valuable. Damage that happens after leaving the mint usually doesn't increase value at all. A coin run over by a lawnmower isn't rare. A penny crushed on railroad tracks isn't collectible. Heat damage, corrosion, and harsh cleaning usually hurt value instead of helping it. That's why learning the difference can save you from expensive mistakes. Take a close look at Lincoln's portrait. Does it appear unusually doubled? Study the date. Examine the D-mint mark. Check the words, "In God we trust" and "Liberty." Look carefully around the edges. Even tiny differences can catch a specialist's attention. But don't grab metal polish. One of the biggest mistakes people make is cleaning old coins. It seems logical. A shiny penny should be worth more, right? Actually, cleaning often destroys the original surface collectors want to see. Even gentle rubbing can leave microscopic scratches that permanently reduce value. That's heartbreaking when the coin was already valuable. Here's another surprise. Many people think older automatically means more valuable. That's simply not true. Some pennies over 100 years old are worth only a few dollars, while certain modern coins sell for astonishing prices because they're exceptionally preserved or feature remarkable mint errors. Age helps, but rarity and demand matter far more. Now let's talk about the so-called $1,000,000 penny. Stories spread quickly online claiming that a 2014 D. Lincoln penny is worth $1,000,000. Those headlines certainly grab attention. But there's something important every collector should understand. There is no evidence that a normal 2014 D. Lincoln cent has sold for $1,000,000 at public auction. Does that mean your coin can't be valuable? Not at all. Coins with extraordinary mint errors, unique characteristics, or unbelievably high grades can command significant premiums over face value. Professional grading companies evaluate every tiny detail, assigning grades that can make enormous differences in price. A coin graded mint state 65 may be worth far less than one graded mint state 68. Move into even higher grades, and values can jump dramatically because so few examples exist. That's why experienced collectors never judge value based only on photographs online. If your penny appears unusual, compare it with known examples. Use magnification. Examine both sides carefully. Check the weight if possible. Genuine mint errors often have characteristics that can be verified, while damage usually follows completely different patterns. Here's something fascinating. Modern coins are produced using incredible technology, yet mistakes still happen. Every so often, something slips through. That's why collectors continue searching rolls of pennies from banks. They know surprises are still out there. Some people have searched millions of coins without finding anything extraordinary. Others found something special in their very first roll. That's the excitement of coin collecting. Every handful of change contains possibility. Most coins will always be worth exactly 1 cent. But every search carries the chance of discovering something unusual. Think about all the pennies sitting forgotten in piggy banks, coffee cans, dresser drawers, old purses, and inherited collections across America. Most owners have never inspected them under magnification. They assume they're ordinary because they look ordinary. History has proven that's not always true. Collectors have discovered valuable varieties years after coins entered circulation. New die varieties continue being identified as experts study coins more closely. That means knowledge is just as valuable as luck. So before you spend another 2014 Denver Lincoln penny, slow down. Look for unusually sharp details. Watch for doubling. Search for striking errors. Compare the coin with trusted references. Most importantly, Leave it exactly as you found it if you think it's unusual. If it truly appears special, consider having it authenticated and graded by a respected professional grading service. Expert verification is often the difference between an interesting conversation piece and a recognized collectible. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever checked the pennies hiding in your home? Maybe there's a forgotten coin jar in the garage. Maybe there's an old piggy bank in the attic. Maybe you inherited a collection you've never opened. You never know what story those coins might tell until you actually look. The next incredible discovery probably won't happen in a museum. It won't happen behind locked glass. It will happen when an ordinary person decides to inspect ordinary change a little more carefully. And that person could be you. So tonight, before those pennies disappear back into circulation, spread them across the table, grab a magnifying glass, and start searching. That single 2014 D Lincoln penny might not be worth $1 million. But if it turns out to be an exceptional error or an elite condition survivor, it could still be one of the most exciting coins you'll ever own. If you enjoy uncovering hidden money, forgotten treasures, and rare coins that most people accidentally spend every day, subscribe and keep watching, because your next life-changing discovery could already be sitting in your pocket right now. Stop what you're doing, because the next penny you find could look completely ordinary while secretly hiding a story that has collectors searching everywhere. Most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought, but a tiny detail on one specific Lincoln penny has sparked endless conversations among collectors. If you have spare change sitting in your house, you may want to check it before you spend another cent. Here's the amazing part. Millions of Americans handle pennies every single day, yet very few ever stop to examine them closely. That's exactly why valuable coins continue slipping through people's fingers. The biggest discoveries don't always happen at expensive auctions. Sometimes they happen in kitchen drawers, old piggy banks, garage sale collections, or forgotten jars collecting dust in a closet. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents, the 2015 Lincoln penny with the Denver Mint mark. You've probably heard unbelievable claims online that this coin is worth $1 million. Is that really possible? Is there actually a 2015 D Lincoln penny hiding in circulation that could completely change someone's financial future? The truth is more fascinating than most headlines, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what separates an ordinary 1-cent coin from an extraordinary collector's treasure. Before we reveal the facts, let's travel back to 2015. The United States Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies that year. The Denver Mint alone produced an enormous number, meaning most 2015 D pennies are incredibly common. That sounds disappointing at first, doesn't it? But here's where everything changes. In the world of coin collecting, rarity isn't always created by low production numbers. Sometimes it's created by mistakes. Other times it's created by exceptional condition. And occasionally it's created by a combination of both. That's why collectors inspect modern coins under magnification instead of assuming they're all worth face value. Imagine two identical-looking pennies sitting side by side on a table. One is worth exactly 1 cent. The other could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars because of something almost invisible to the naked eye. That's what makes coin collecting feel like a real-life treasure hunt. Now let's talk about the Denver Mint mark. Look just below the date on the front of the coin. If you see a small letter D, your penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That tiny letter is the first clue, but it doesn't guarantee value. It's only the beginning of the investigation. Many collectors immediately search for striking errors. These include doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or dramatic die breaks. While these errors are uncommon, they can make an otherwise ordinary penny much more desirable depending on how dramatic and well-preserved the error happens to be. But don't stop there. Condition is just as important. Professional grading companies examine every tiny scratch, mark, and detail before assigning a grade. A coin that looks nearly perfect under magnification can command dramatically higher prices than the exact same coin showing even minor wear. That's why experienced collectors often say condition is king. Here's something that surprises many beginners. A penny taken directly from a mint roll and carefully preserved for years may have a completely different value than one carried through thousands of cash registers. Even though both were made on the same day, one survived untouched while the other collected damage with every transaction. Now think about how many pennies you've received as change over the years. Did you ever inspect them? Probably not. Most people don't. They glance at the date, toss them into a pocket, and move on. That's exactly why hidden treasures sometimes stay hidden for years. Let's make things even more interesting. Certain collectors search for coins with unusually strong strikes. These coins display crisp details in Lincoln's portrait, sharp lettering, and clean surfaces with brilliant original luster. High-grade examples become much harder to find because even tiny contact marks during transportation can reduce their grade forever. And then there are mint errors. Some collectors have discovered double dies where certain letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated. Others have found dramatic die cracks stretching across the coin like lightning bolts. There are also coins struck off-center, creating unusual blank areas that instantly catch attention. Each error tells the story of what happened inside the minting presses during production. But here's the mistake that costs people money every year. Someone finds an unusual-looking penny and immediately starts cleaning it. That single decision can destroy a large portion of its collector value. Cleaning leaves microscopic hairline scratches that grading experts can spot almost instantly. Even if the coin looks shinier afterward, collectors usually prefer original surfaces. If you think you've found something special, leave it exactly as it is. Another mistake is storing coins loosely in jars where they constantly scrape against each other. Every tiny mark matters when collectors evaluate high-grade coins. Simple protective holders can preserve value for decades. Now let's address the question everyone has been waiting for. Can a 2015 Lincoln penny actually be worth $1 million? Despite sensational claims across the internet, there is no verified public record of a regular 2015 Lincoln penny selling for $1 million. Extraordinary headlines often combine speculation with extremely rare hypothetical scenarios involving unique mint errors that have never been confirmed in the marketplace. However, don't click away just yet. That doesn't mean your coin has no value. Certified high-grade examples, especially those with remarkable preservation or significant mint errors, can sell for far more than 1 cent depending on the specific error, rarity, condition, collector demand, and third-party grading. Some examples have brought hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Exceptional modern error coins have achieved impressive auction results because serious collectors compete aggressively for the finest known pieces. That's why authentication matters. If you believe your 2015 penny has an unusual feature, resist the temptation to rely only on online opinions. Professional grading and authentication provide confidence for buyers and sellers alike. An authenticated coin carries far more credibility than an unverified claim posted on social media. Here's another detail many people overlook: the edge of the coin. Although Lincoln cents normally have a plain edge, examining every part of the coin can reveal damage or unusual characteristics. Also inspect the date, mint mark placement, lettering, Lincoln shoulder, and the reverse design. Sometimes the smallest detail becomes the biggest clue. Collectors also recommend using proper lighting instead of relying on a quick glance under a kitchen lamp. A simple magnifying glass can reveal features you would never notice otherwise. Tiny doubled letters, die polishing lines, or raised metal from die chips often become much easier to see under magnification. Think about this for a moment. Every coin has a journey. Some spend years traveling through stores, vending machines, and cash registers. Others remain untouched inside original bank rolls, waiting decades before someone finally opens them. That difference alone can determine whether collectors ignore a coin or compete fiercely to own it. And that's what makes this hobby so addictive. You never know when an ordinary afternoon could turn into an unforgettable discovery. One careful inspection could reveal something everyone else missed. Even if your coin isn't worth thousands, learning what to look for transforms everyday pocket change into a fascinating search for history, craftsmanship, and hidden surprises. So here's today's challenge. Take 10 minutes after this video. Open that coin jar, check your wallet, search your car's cup holder, and inspect every 2015 Lincoln penny you can find. Look for the D mint mark. Examine the surfaces carefully, search for unusual errors, and never clean a coin before learning what you have. You might not uncover $1 million rarity, but you could discover a collectible piece that's worth far more than its face value. Now I'm curious. Have you ever found a coin that looked unusual or discovered something valuable in your spare change? Share your story in the comments because collectors love hearing about real discoveries, and your experience might help someone else recognize a hidden treasure sitting in their own collection. If you enjoy uncovering the secrets hiding inside everyday pocket change, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. There are countless coins still circulating that most people overlook every single day, and the next incredible discovery could already be waiting in your pocket right now.